The tall welterweight, Margarito has a 1.5-inch height advantage over Kyvelos. Their arm length, however, equal, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Margarito weighed in a quarter pound under the weight limit and has put on 8¼ pounds overnight. Kyvelos weighed in right at the welterweight limit and has put on only 5 pounds overnight. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Antonio Margarito Hercules Kyvelos fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
And here comes Hercules Kyvelos. It's a growing trend in boxing. The star fighter with a college degree. We already know that both Klitschko brothers in the heavyweight division have PhDs. Now here's another college grad. Hercules Kyvelos has a degree in phys ed from the University of Montreal. He's lived there in Montreal his whole life. Accompanied into the ring by trainer Howard Grant and his brother Otis Grant, whom you might remember from his light heavyweight title challenge about 5 years back against Roy Jones. And here is a closer look with Larry Merchant at Hercules Kyvelos.
Kyvelos is a true Spartan because his father comes from Sparta, Greece. He's also a real Hercules. Many athletes call themselves Hercules or are called Hercules because of their body. His name is Hercules. He was a '96 Olympian for Canada. He will not go to Greece for the 2004 Olympics. Says it's too far and too dangerous.
And too hot. It was another thing that he mentioned as well. I'll be happy to tell you about it when I get back. Here comes Antonio Margarito. 20 of the last 21 fights are wins. The other one was a no contest. And you heard Emmanuel Stewart say that he doesn't have the great quickness of a Deloy or a Mosley. What he does have is determination to throw a lot of punches. Describes himself as a counter-puncher, and yet we've seen rounds on tape where this man has thrown 120 or 130 punches in a round. He becomes a machine. And despite those long arms, Larry, he likes to fight inside.
Comes straight to his opponent, throws straight punches until he doesn't see an opponent in front of him. Unbeaten in 8 years, once again hasn't lost since he was 17 years old.
There's a hole in the welterweight hierarchy after the demise of Ricardo Mayorga at the hands of Corey Spinks. Margarito hopes to fill the entertainment gap left by the temporary or perhaps permanent removal of Mayorga from the upper echelons of the division. Now here's a closer look with Larry Merchant at Antonio Margarito.
Margarito, unlike most Mexican or Mexican-American fighters, was born in the U.S., Southern California, and migrated to Mexico in Tijuana when he was a child. There he became a newspaper boy, selling the headlines, before he became a fighter, making the headlines. One of the headlines, he fought despite a terrible tragedy on the night that he found out from out of town that his brother had been murdered on the streets of Tijuana.
Now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the featured bout of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with the undisputed king of beers, Budweiser. Sanctioned by the Arizona State Boxing Commission Chairman Joe Pennington, Commissioner at ringside Mary Rose Wilcox. The 3 judges scoring this bout will be Rocky Burke, Aaron Kaiser, and Gonzalo Valenzuela. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Raul Caiz Sr. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world with dedication to the men and women of the armed forces, now serving in harm's way. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with gold and officially weighing 147 pounds. His professional record, 22 bouts, 22 victories, including 11 knockouts. Fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, here is the undefeated challenger, Hercules Kyvelos. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with white. His official weight, 146 3/4 pounds, and his professional record stands at 32 bouts, with 29 victories, including 20 knockouts and only 3 defeats. Damas y caballeros de Tijuana, Mexico, the reigning, defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, Antonio Margarito.
Hercules, one person, let's go. Okay, gentlemen, I gave you instructions downstairs. Les di las instrucciones allá abajo. Cuidado con los golpes. You're legal aquí, legal right here. Both of you guys have tried trunks, okay? So right here's a good blow. Aquí está bien todo. Obey my commands at all times. Háganme caso lo que les diga. Buena suerte. Y váyanse a la esquina a esperar la campana. Wait for the, go to the bell and wait for the corner.
Inquiring minds want to know, is this a real match or another mismatch?
Well, I think it's going to be much more competitive than the last fight.
A week ago, we saw Arturo Gatti winning again at 140 pounds. Kyvelos once traveled with Gatti when both were amateurs fighting in their early amateur days for Canada.
Ready? Listo. Ready? Box.
Relatively tall welterweights. Both want to set up behind the jab. As Kyvelos said yesterday, Antonio's best as a counterpuncher. I'd like to try to make him lead, but at the end of the day, I have to create action one way or the other. There's Margarito over the top with a flinging right hand, and now a good solid body shot with the left hand.
And that's the counterpunch move that he was speaking of.
Hard right hand lands for Margarito. Kyvelos grabs him and wrestles him into the ropes.
Kyvelos seems to be unsteady and unsure of himself at this stage right here. Looking at his facial expression, seems to be very uncomfortable.
Well, Howard Grant told us yesterday that Kyvelos can be a slow starter, that he needed to be a fast starter in this fight. It's Margarito who's getting the fast start, and he just laced Kyvelos with another quick right hand.
And Margarito's placing all of his shots properly. If he keeps going at this pace here, this fight's not going to be going much longer than the last fight. Kyvelos is going to have to start throwing some punches back to get some respect, even if it's just a jab.
Yeah, Kyvelos just hasn't been assertive enough in this round to give Margarito the resistance that might slow him down. This is the kind of fight in which Margarito gets going and just keeps letting his hands go free.
An uppercut seemed to stagger Kyvelos momentarily.
Well, you let a guy keep throwing all the punches, sooner or later, just playing the numbers games, he's got to start contacting. Especially with a puncher like Margarito, the first contact he makes may end the fight.
Hard right hand again by Margarito. Kyvelos is having trouble handling Margarito's power.
I was wrong. This is going to go
this could be a
same as the last fight.
The long-armed Margarito just keeps throwing and throwing. Same thing he did to Six-Heads Lewis in the second round.
Yeah. His placing his punch is very good tonight.
Kyvelos gets in a body shot, but it does little to slow down Margarito.
No, this
has been a brutal first round. Hard body shot by Margarito. Kyvelos tries again to throw back. Manages to land a right hand. Gets in a left hook, too. Margarito kind of smiles at it. Kyvelos got away with a low blow. That'll help, too.
Stop. Break. Stop at the bell. Pare la campana. Let's go.
And just as Pete Fresina made it out of round one against Rafael Marquez, but considerably the worse for wear, so too Hercules Kyvelos walks wobbly back to his corner at the end of the first.
And it's going to be a major task to see if he can make it through round two.
Let's go, man. Hey, give me garbage down there. Give me some water. Hey, listen, you don't need to be struck nowhere with this guy. You understand what I mean? You okay, back? All right. You keep dropping your hands, and they're going to keep popping with pop shots. You understand what I'm saying?
Just like you did there. Got to keep your hands up, relax,
You see the way
and
you
move.
finished the round? Oh, you see the way you finished the round?
Deep breath.
This is not an issue of quickness. This is just an issue of strength and will to come forward.
And you can see right here that for the most part, Kyvelos doesn't seem to have his mind into the fight. And Margarito's mixing up his punches. He's throwing overhand punches. He's coming up between the center with punches. He's going to the body. It's just a matter of time. He's got to start contacting when he's throwing punches from different angles like that.
Antonio Margarito comes to hurt you. By CompuBox estimate, in the first round, he threw 86 power shots, landing 32 of them. And as you can see, from all angles, every kind of punch, hooks, uppercuts, overhand rights and lefts. There's a good right hand inside by Kyvelos.
I think the biggest factor in the first round was the fact that Kyvelos' eyes showed me that he really didn't feel confident.
I don't think he can handle Margarito's power, and there's the first knockdown of the fight.
Hey, you okay? You walk to me. You walk. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Walk toward me.
He's really hurt.
It's over. It's over.
Unsteady
They
leg.
should stop the fight.
They shouldn't give him a chance, I don't think, to keep
No,
going.
he's going to fall on his own without getting
It's
hit.
a good moment to stop it as he falls into the ropes by himself, and his trainer, Howard Grant, gets up on the apron with a white towel, which was exactly the right thing to do.
It was like the referee was a little slow in stopping that one.
Referee was about to miss it. Howard Grant didn't let it go by.
Well,
He protected his fight.
Did a good job.
I don't remember when we've ever had two mismatches like this before.
Never on Boxing After Dark, for sure.
Well, we had a great undercard, but that wasn't televised.
Bob Arum, who has seen so many headlines recently that are difficult for him, slightly happier tonight as his two fighters, Marquez and Margarito, score huge victory. Here's another look, Emmanuel, at the series of punches that really put Kyvelos away.
It wasn't so much really just a punch. It was just like it went into submission on his own. It was just a matter of time before he got hit with anything. When you're afraid, every punch hurts.
Who's next, Bob? Who's next, Bob?
Some of those are just glancing blows, but your point is quite well taken. He was already out of the fight.
Mentally.
This is the moment at which Kais could have stepped in to stop it, allowed Margarito to bang away just a little more, and even though you don't see it here, it was exactly at this moment that Howard Grant was in the corner, up on the apron in Kyvelos' corner and waving a white towel, as if to say to the referee, all right, look, if you can't see it, I can.
And Margarito was doing the same thing. He would throw a punch to the outside and then throw a left uppercut right between the gloves after he would let him cover up. And it worked very effectively, continually.
Well, Margarito has some of the relentlessness and the go-for-broke knockout instinct of Ricardo Mayorga. But he's a little more structured, perhaps a better boxer than Mayorga. Is that fair, Emmanuel?
He's much technically sound, but I think that Mayorga punches and fights with a little bit more intensity and more highly spirited. But he's a better, solid, fundamental fighter than Mayorga right there.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Raul Kais Sr. steps in and calls a halt to this bout in round number 2. The official time is 54 seconds. The winner and still WBO welterweight champion of the world, Antonio Margarito.
So 3 quick knockouts on the card. Both Rafael Marquez and Antonio Margarito scoring second-round knockouts, and Harold Letterman with a 1-minute knockout in the Ask Harold feature. Total punch stat numbers, and you can see that Kyvelos was barely in the ring numerically against Margarito, who would have thrown another 100 power punches in the second round if they just let him keep going. Power shots, that's the name of the game for Margarito. He threw 99 of them in a little bit over 1 round of action. And Kyvelos did what he could to try to get back at him, but to very little effect. And let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring with the winner and with interpreter Ray Torres.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Antonio.
Gracias, Larry.
Did you watch the first fight tonight?
¿Tú miraste la primera pelea esta noche? Bueno, sí. No la miré, estaba en los vestidores, no lo alcancé a mirar. No, I didn't see that fight.
But you knew, because you came so fast, that it was a short fight, yes?
Pero tú sabías, porque comenzaste rápido, que eso fue una pelea rápida. Claro que sí. Primero, quiero agradecer a Dios por haber salido bien a HBO. Sí, no, inclusive no calenté muy bien para este combate. Entré un poco frío, pero gracias a Dios logré el triunfo. First, I want to thank God. I want to thank HBO. I came a little slow because I didn't warm up, but everything went fine.
Did you know or quickly see that you were just too strong for him?
¿Sabías tú o rápido supiste que tú eras muy fuerte para él? Bueno, sí. En el primer round logré conectar unos golpes porque yo sentí que lo conecté bien y que empezó a aflojar. Oh yeah, in the first round I hit him some hard shots and I knew he was going to be weakening.
Okay, this fight will not mean a lot to most people in boxing because he would be considered an inferior opponent. What top opponents would you like to fight as a welterweight?
Esta pelea no es muy significante porque el contrincante no era tan bueno. Pero ¿cuáles de los oponentes buenos quieres tú pelear? Bueno, sabíamos que él iba invicto, ¿verdad? Claro, Lolo se miró la diferencia. Es por eso que yo estoy pidiendo a los grandes campeones como mi amigo Oscar de la Hoya que me dé una chance, Chuarchen Molly, Fernando Vargas. Quiero con los grandes. He was undefeated, but I knew right away that he wasn't the top opponent. But that's why I've been clamoring. I've been hollering for the top opponents. Sugar Shane Mosley, Oscar de la Hoya, whoever.
They are all in weight classes above you. Who is a welterweight do you want to fight?
Pero eso que tú estás llamando, Oscar de la Hoya y Mosley, ellos están en el peso superior al tuyo. Pero en el peso tuyo de los welter, ¿con quién quieres pelear? Bueno, claro que sí. Ya ahorita parece que no hay unificación. Necesito hablar con mi promotor Bob Aron para que negocie las peleas grandes. Yo estoy dispuesto a subir a las 154 libras. Me siento muy fuerte en ese peso. Yeah. I know there's no unification bout in the 47 pounds for now. I need to talk to Bob Aron, my promoter, to get me those big fights. I'll fight anybody at any weight.
Thank you very much, Antonio. Congratulations again. Jim?
All right, Larry. Well, Emmanuel, I get
control again. Back up. Trying to clear those legs. And again, side control by Bailey. Very powerful. Strong and explosive is Shamar Bailey. McGillivray's got a hip escape here, Mike. He's using the cage here, but he's got to bump and create some space to get a leg underneath him. And it's going to be very hard. Shamar's very heavy on him. Excellent base. Look at this. Look at this. Dart's attempt from the bottom. Oh, big knees by Bailey. Oh, another. One of them landed on the chin. Good uppercut by Bailey as well. Good work in the clinch.